Hi there, this is Dawn Priolat. I am an intuitive, I am a relationship coach, and this is my second take on this video. So hopefully this time this is going to work out. I'm just laughing at myself because all these little technological blunders that I make. And you know what's really funny about that is because I am like a recovering perfectionist. And like, I don't know if this had happened like 6 months ago or a year ago, I would not have been laughing about it. I love myself. I really do. I just, I have gotten to that place where it's okay for me to be imperfect. And I sincerely hope that if you're not there yet, let's go on this journey together. So today in this video, without further ado, I love when you guys leave me comments beneath the video and ask me questions. I love that because it lets me know what's going on with you. I really want to hear about what's going on in your relationships, your relationship with men and money even, because they're so related. It's unbelievable. But I want to address a kind of a long question. It's really a four-part question. I had to divide it up into four parts so that I could answer it. And at the same time, I want to keep this video reasonably short because I know people don't have a very long attention span. So I'm taking that into consideration. So I'm going to just read part by part the questions or and then I'm going to try to answer as best I can. So first part, and this person chose to remain kind of anonymous, but you'll know who you are by the question. Can you do a tapping video about upset that my relationships never last? Okay, that was the first part. Second part, and also that if I don't reach out to people, that people don't reach out to me. Third part, feeling the pressure that I have to keep the relationship going and that others don't care about me or they don't act to get in touch with me. Fourth part, and also that one around money, of course. I think it's a problem about receiving. Yeah. I don't know how to, I guess. And I only know how to give and give. But it's exhausting, and I don't want to be like that anymore. Thank you. So, again, thank you. Thank you for those questions because, wow. First of all, what comes to me immediately is your attachment style. It is evident to me from what you've said in this four-part question that more than likely you have an insecure attachment style. And I want to recommend to you this book. It's called Attached, and it is by Amir Levine and Rachel Heller. Okay, it's called Attached. You also have it in Spanish. Um, so if you prefer your first language, second language, whatever is Spanish, it's called Maneras de Amar. So you can do either one. It's up to you, or both, like me. Um, and I'm recommending this to you because, as I said, it sounds like you are the anxious attachment style. It seems evident from your questions. And so what that means is anxious attachment styles are always the ones who are very masculine in their behavior in relationships. They're always leaning forward, both literally and metaphorically. Always reaching out, always texting, always calling, always leaving, coming up with excuses to send emails, and just always their energy is always going towards the person of interest. And it sounds to me like this is a woman who's asking the question. I want you to just see if you can get a visual. Who has not seen on shows with animals, Animal Planet, whatever, two male bucks locking horns? Okay, have you seen that before? Okay, so if you have, I just want you to consider that that's kind of what you're doing. Because by you leaning forward, by you, quote unquote, doing all the work, as you said, you are actually acting very masculine. You're coming with a masculine energy. That's how you're showing up in the relationship. So first of all, I want to say, knock it off. But it's not that simple. And I know this very well. As someone who has gone through it, I know very well it is not that simple. But I also want to say to you, seriously, it is not your fault that you have this attachment style. It comes from your upbringing. And the really great thing about it is that this is kind of what I'm coming to specialize in, because I see it so much with my clients. Most of my clients are very powerful women. They're very powerful leaders. They're very good at what they do. They're business women, entrepreneurs, coaches, and they love, love, love helping people. They love being very generous, very giving, okay? And they're good at it. But when it comes to relationships with men, if you want to bring out his natural desire to chase after you and to give to you and protect you and care for you, these are his natural, this is what he wants to do. But he can't do that when you are constantly, baking him cakes or cleaning his house or whatever it is that you're doing, that you're constantly, constantly texting him and chasing him. You can't be chased if you're the one doing all the chasing. So first of all, to the person asking this question, or you watching this, if you, have this issue, first thing to do is stop. Just stop it. Stop what you're doing. All doing, just stop. And literally lean back. Notice how I'm leaning back in my chair right now. Lean back. And I want you to notice, how many times do you catch yourself in relationships with other people literally leaning forward like this? How often do you do that? Lean back. Stop doing. It's like you got the disease, the disease of the doo-doo. It's the doo-doo, the disease to please. And all it actually does is make people want to get the hell away from you. Because the thing is, when you're in this very masculine mode, you are actually competing with him. And one thing that a man will not do for very long is compete with you. He doesn't like it. He doesn't want to compete with you. He wants you to be that warm, loving, feminine, safe place for him to land. He's been out in the workplace competing with people all day. He doesn't want to compete with you. So the best thing you can do to start to turn this around is just stop it. Stop doing whatever you're doing. In situations with men, less is more as far as doing. You really don't have to do much of anything. And if you do, you've got the wrong guy. You've got the wrong guy. You may have a feminine energy guy, or, what they call a Peter Pan. But even if you have that kind of guy, usually if you show up in relationship in your feminine energy, he will respond to that feminine energy by stepping more into his masculine energy. And I hope that makes sense. And, again, thank you for asking the question, because this is what I'm going to be going more into in my future videos and webinars. Also, I'm going to have a retreat coming up in May in the Dominican Republic for those of you who might be interested in that. So stay tuned for information about that. The third part of her question, feeling pressure that I have to keep the relationship going and that others don't care about me or don't act out to get in touch with me. So again, it's the masculine energy. The other thing I want to say about that right away is this is something that you have brought in from your childhood. There's a way of being, an expectation that you have. Because I really have the feeling that with you and really with most people, the way that we show up in relationships, it's really coming from how we were treated in our childhood. And so if you have an expectation because, maybe one of your parents ignored you, obviously somebody was emotionally absent, whether your mom, your dad, one of them was. And so you learned a certain style, a way of behaving to try to get that parent's love. And whatever you did to try to get mom and dad's love, you're still doing it. And it's backfiring on you. Okay? Like I said, it's not your fault. You were raised in this environment with an emotionally checked out parent, one or both. And so you did what you had to do to try to adapt to that, to try to get your needs met, which were very real needs, by the way. I mean, it's not just I kind of like to have my parents love me. No, when you're a child, I mean, it's been proven by researchers that children who do not receive attention and affection actually can, it slows their development. It can actually cause brain damage. So this is not just oh, it would have been nice to have affection. No, it's not like that. You needed that. And you needed to bond instinctively. Babies know they have to bond with their parents because they're completely and totally reliant on their parents for their survival. Because they can't feed themselves. They can't go out and hunt for food either. They need a dad to go out and hunt for the food and a dad to also protect them and their mother. So, it's built in. It's in our DNA, you know. So, the fourth part of the question, also the one around money. I think it's a problem of receiving. I don't know how to, I guess, and I only know how to give and give, but it's exhausting. I don't want to be like that anymore. Oh, I so hear what you're saying. And believe me, I lived with this for years. I'm still, at times dealing with, finding that balance. And this is a second chakra issue. It's when you have an imbalance at your second chakra where you don't, I mean, half the time you probably don't even feel what you need, let alone be able to express it. And so I also kind of have a feeling that if the people that you're in relationship with are not leaving you, you may actually leave them in the end because you stuff down your feelings so much because you've learned ever since you were a little girl that your feelings, your little feelings are going to be totally dismissed as unimportant, or you may have even got in trouble for crying or showing any kind of emotion. So you learned real early that your needs, your emotional needs, were not going to get taken care of. And so now as an adult, you're still stuffing it down with food, alcohol, maybe, because that's another feature of this anxious attachment style is most people who have this anxious attachment style have some kind of addiction going on. Could be a sex addiction, alcohol, drugs, whatever. Work. Work was my thing. Work addiction. But, you know, even work, you know, we can use that as a way to avoid feeling our feelings. Okay? And that's what we do. We use these substances, we use these addictions as a way to try to avoid feeling what we're really feeling. Because when you're working all the time and you're up in your head all the time, right, you're not feeling. And so, again, the way around all of this, you know, the big broader picture is to do what you can to get in your feminine energy, which I believe I already said is, you know, first of all, notice how often you're leaning forward and stop it. Literally lean back. Just start becoming conscious of when you're trying to lean forward, literally or metaphorically. Stop doing things for a man. If, you know, any male child that is over the age of 5, they can, you know, you got to stop doing things for them, especially without them asking for your help. If they've not asked for help, stop it. Stop helping them. You know, a wonderful thing that you can say to a man, you can acknowledge how he must be feeling. You can say to him, you know, boy, it must be frustrating. You must feel really frustrated. And then just say to him, you know, I just know, I have faith in you that you are going to be able to figure this out. Let him feel like the hero. Let him know you have faith in him. Because, see, that's the other side of this. Every time you rush in to help a guy, when you give him advice, unsolicited advice, when you make suggestions to him, any kind of thing, what you're basically saying to him, the way that he interprets that as, she doesn't think I'm smart enough to figure this out. It's very emasculating. Okay, so I want you to just start being aware of where you might be doing that. And I know you're doing that to try to help, but it's not helping and it's ruining your relationships. Now, I've got to end this video, but I'm just going to let you know I am going to go further into these themes because all of them are great. And I'm so thankful to you for asking the questions. And anybody else that has a question you'd like me to do further videos about, and tapping videos as well, let me know in the comments below. And look for more videos on how to do the tapping for these issues, and more videos about how to get more into your feminine energy, and also how I can actually show you how to use the tapping so that you can fix this really negative attraction pattern, so that in the end you will be able to no longer be attracted to unavailable men. Because that's really the goal here, is that you don't want to be attracted to that anymore. And there is a way to go back and deal with situations from the past and be able to overcome that style, that attachment style. And I'll be talking to you more in other videos about that. But for now, I've gone a little bit long. Again, my name is Dawn Priolet. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao for now.